There's your time lapse. It's getting pretty crazy out here. Oh, she's hailing now. Ah! This is crazy. I can't make it to the house. Ouch, 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 ouch. Here, I think I'm safe here. That is wild. Hey, check this out. So I'm right about here, and it looks like I should be walloped with storms around 6 o'clock. And it's 5 o'clock. So in today's video, I will be showing you how to do a storm lapse with the GoPro Hero 13. I've been pretty lucky the last few days. I've been having a bunch of different storms roll through, so I've been able to tweak this with all the little storms that run through, and I'm starting to get some pretty good results. So today I'm going to share that with you. Let's get at her. Calm before the storm. Okay, let's jump into the settings here. So the first thing you want to do is swipe down and to the right and go to controls here and flip that to Pro. It's going to give us more options when we get into the time lapse. Next, swipe to the left, you get your time lapse. You're going to see I've got storm lapse set up here because I've already had it programmed into my camera, but we're going to go through the settings on it. So click on the bottom right, format video. Photos are going to give you a lot more play with your footage and more power to edit the overall look of your camera, but it's also going to be very time consuming compared to what the video puts out on the camera. Framing 8:7, that is good for TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Whichever way you're going to end up, you just have to frame it later. Now, if you're not editing after post, if you just want to slap it on Instagram, you probably want to run 16:9 and put your camera like that. Resolution 5.3K. Digital lens, wide is what I use. It gives you a great big look at the great big sky, whereas linear tightens it up a little bit but kind of de-warps it somewhat. Capture, interval, 2 seconds. 5 seconds is what I usually use for clouds, but I use 2 for storms because the tighter the intervals, the more chance you have of catching lightning if it happens to be an electrical storm. Scheduled capture off, duration off, and timer off. I'm going to be starting and stopping this manually. We don't need any of that. And we get into the Protune. So bitrate I put to high. EV comp is -0.5. My happy white balance for the grumpy clouds is 5500K. ISO minimum 100 and ISO maximum 800. Sharpness low, denoise high, color vibrant. Now, the color is a personal preference. It's all up to what you want to see. I use vibrant. I think it looks really cool when the sun does decide to peek out, or if you're lucky enough to catch a rainbow, which you'll see on the last video I do. Natural color, it's good, but like I said, personal preference, and flat just gives you more to play with in post, which I don't want to play with anything. I just want it straight out of the camera. And these are the settings I would use if I'm not using an ND filter. Now I'll just quickly go over a couple of the tweaks I do if I'm using an ND filter. One of these suckers here. So you don't have to change a whole bunch. What I am going to change is the ISO maximum is going to be down to 100. I don't need much ISO if I'm using an ND filter because the sunglasses do well. Also the denoise, I bring that down to low. And I let the ND filter do its trick. Now, when you put one of these GoPro ND filters on, the camera automatically recognizes that there's an ND filter on, and I know with this ND8 and the ND16 that I use, it'll change this interval to 5, and that's all you get. The option of 5 is the lowest. So in order to combat that, if you look when you put the ND filters on, they've got this little blue tab on them, and the camera also has a little blue tab on it. So what you got to do is line up the tab and you put it on, twist it on, and then you'll see it changes to ND8. Now if I go back into my settings, interval is maxed out at 5 seconds. So that's a problem if you want the quicker time lapse. And what I found was, and I found this by accident, because if you look at my ND16 filter here, this one, It does not have one of those blue tabs, and this I think was a defect from factory. You can see where it was supposed to be, but there's nothing there, and never was one there. So I actually found this out by accident because I put it on upside down, which I'm going to do right now. If you put the ND filter on upside down, it seals up just like before, but now the camera is not reading it as an ND filter. So we go back in, you got the filter on, and now I can bring it back down to 0.5 seconds, 1 second, 2 seconds. 2 seconds is where I like to run it for storms. So that's how you use it for ND filter. I've got a video coming up here that shows first the time lapse with the ND filter on, and second the time lapse without it. Another interesting thing you want to pay attention to in the videos are the first video with the ND filter. I am filming towards the sun, so it is front lit, and the second one I am without the ND filter and it is backlit. And I think that if you're going to be filming storms, from everything I've figured out here, you should try to run the storm with the sun at your back. It turns out a lot better, and you're going to see that right now. Oh, and one more thing. For the love of everything, please make sure that you wipe your lens before you set it up. Otherwise, what did you do this all for? Note the difference on the lenses. The GoPro's Hydrophobic lens does not have a single drop on it. Everything else does on the GoPro, but the Action 5 is covered in droplets, and it's the 360's got a few, not so bad, but I guess they do make their ND filters hydrophobic. That would make it worth buying.